What's up?
We're back with another episode of another hip hop podcast. I'm Bria. I'm working on the name. I swear to God, I'm going to have a name next week.
She's been working on the name for 10 weeks now. Oh yeah, we on episode 10.
Oh wow, we should do something special.
Yeah, we have Lex here. That's what's special.
Yeah, we have a guest.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Even though I don't know if I'm really a guest at this point. This is like my third time
Right.
on here.
You're a friend of the show.
What's up, Havana? Salt.
All right. It's Mayron. You'll find out more about me as this podcast goes on. I've been told by multiple people just to stop saying that, and I'm going to keep saying it because y'all said stop saying it.
I saw feedback.
Yeah, right. Hey, me. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about female MCs. New school, specifically female MCs, which I'm quite excited about. And I'm glad that we're able to kind of have this conversation now, like full conversation. Like there are multiple artists to choose from, so.
And it's kind of the perfect week to have it, right? So Twitter has been ablaze recently with this debate about I guess respectability politics, really, where dudes are being like, yeah, why is she always rapping about sex, yada yada yada, and people are just like, all dudes rap about his sex too.
Mm-hmm. Or people saying they can't respect Megan Thee Stallion or take her music seriously because she shakes her ass.
Yeah, I saw
that's
tweet.
Confusing.
It was like, if you're gonna rap, don't twerk. If you're gonna twerk, then don't rap. Is it too much to just ask that you pick one? And it was like,
it is,
what?
because most rap music is made to twerk to.
Exactly, it's twerk music.
So,
what do you mean?
And I just don't understand how you can hypersexualize women on one hand, right? Because you have all the videos and shit that's been prevalent throughout hip hop the whole time. And then, on the other hand, be like, nah, you can't use that hypersexualization of you.
Right.
Nah, you can't use the shit that we label you as.
Right.
Fuck that.
We want the naked bitches.
How dare you turn that into empowerment?
Right. We want the naked bitches, but how dare you, artists, be the naked bitch? No, we must distinguish. It doesn't make any sense.
But I want to take a step back real quick.
Okay.
So, when I was thinking about this episode, right, and thinking in context of all the artists and things like that, and I'm like, yeah, female MCs, women MCs, and I know the common pushback against calling women rappers, which is a true pushback that I also push back with, is they should just be rappers, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
But here's my sort of conundrum, and maybe you explain this to me because I'm a guy. The fact that they are women does matter, right? The fact that they are doing what they're doing in a male-dominated industry as not the quote-unquote dominant gender, the fact that they made it through and the fact that they are usually set to a higher standard also matters, right? So they should get credit for that. And also the way women rap is not necessarily different from the way men rap, right? They all say punchlines and shit like that, and they have verses and all this other stuff. But the path they do to get there and how hard they have to work is different.
For sure.
So how do you be you give credit to women as just another rapper? That's a victory. But also, they are a lot more than just another rapper, so you can't really call them just another rapper, right?
I understand what you're saying.
Am I making any sense?
No, you are completely, and I understand what you're saying, and that's not a take that I've necessarily heard before. And I actually feel where you're coming from, but of course my mind goes to just keeping it in the entertainment industry, my mind goes to female directors. Ava DuVernay is not called a female director. She is a film director who is a black female, and of course she is known for being one of the only black female directors in the film industry. That is important because the film industry is very male dominated. Everyone is aware of that. And those are the conversations that are had about Ava DuVernay. And some people have frustrations with that. Okay, we get that she's black. We get that she has a vagina. Let's just talk about her art. That's always going to be surrounded by women in any field that is male dominated.
I was about to say, and most fields are male dominated. So that's always the it's the token friend. So in a lot of ways, even though women have been around hip hop and been a part of the culture since the beginning, and there's always been, women in rap, it's still looking at as oh, you're the token friend. But I think part of that is because of the way we associate women rappers, and in regard to the fact that usually there's one woman rapper in a crew, so if you look at Terror Squad, okay, that was Remy Ma. You
Fugees.
Look at look at the Fugees, okay, they had Lauryn Hill. You look at take whatever great label, great group from hip hop, and they usually had one or two women. Even G Unit had Olivia. You know what I mean? You can go back to the beginning, and so I think it's part of the way that women have been when you put them in the front lines, they're always still surrounded by men.
but I don't think it's necessary to always like female rapper. Like we don't say female doctor. I mean, yeah, people can request doctors that are women, and you know, because I'm somebody, I only want to see women of color.
Of course.
I say that, but I want to see a lady doctor, please. Or this is my lady doctor. This is my fucking doctor. This is my dentist. This is my orthodontist. This is my director. This is my producer. So this is my fucking rapper. Like, why are we saying female rapper? Like, we can clearly see this as a crotch. We can see it. We can hear it. Like, why is that something that needs to be distinguished? And I feel like because of that, I think that just reflects how separate still I think rap looks at femininity and women in the rap game. It's like, you know, we allow you to be here. Like, you still do this, but you're in a corner. It's still a subsection. It's still a subculture. And that's what needs to get eradicated.
Yeah, because to me, it's just like, it's the male gaze in hip hop. And it's in art and culture in general. But the way it's immersed into hip hop is just, it's very deeply entrenched. So even like when it comes to women rapping, it's either like, oh, she rapping like a nigga. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, like niggas only love Young M.A. because she rap like a nigga. You know what I mean? So it's like,
or just because she can rap, right?
Right. Or, you know, but then people be like, no, it's just because she got bars, you know, compared to insert other woman rapper, you know, like. So I think there's just a way that the male gaze is imprinted on hip hop that's very hard to separate, and it creates this duality that even now we're just seeing women, like we were talking about crews and stuff, like now we're talking about the new school class, like for the most part none of these girls are in crews, they're all running independent, and I think like that is starting to give like a fresh perspective to what female rap looks like today.
So that's a dope transition point, right, for a number of reasons. First of all, that conversation is a small snippet, I think, of the conversation that we should have on another episode where we discuss the male gaze and how, like, we sort of relate the male gaze to hip-hop and, like, how misogyny works in hip-hop. I think that in itself deserves its own conversation. What I don't want to get lost today is a lot of what we want to do is we want to talk about all the dope, like, women who are rapping today in the game and what they're doing, right? So, like, with the understanding, like, that some of the rappers we're about to mention today are, like, the best, like, in the game has to offer right now, right? Because truthfully, a lot of the women are out rapping the men at this point.
Yep.
So who is your favorite non-crew affiliated woman rapper out here right now? Because like you just said, oh, a lot of them not in crews, but immediately when you said that, I thought like, well, SZA's and TDE and Ari Lennox is in Dreamville, but neither of those are rappers, right? Exactly. That's their token female, but they don't have token female rappers, exactly. Mm-hmm. So like now it's different. Like you said, that all these people are now outside the crew. So who you got other than yourself?
Right. So I mean, oh man, that's hard. I'll just say I just listened to Carrie Fo's project on the way over here, and
she's fire.
I've been rocking with her for a minute, and that joint's really it's very, very lit. So Carrie Fo, she's doing her thing right now. And then the first person that came to mind though when you said that was Rico Nasty. She's from the DMV, she's from PG, so she's killing shit. So.
Let's talk about Rico for a minute. Like, I think you mentioned Rico on this podcast multiple times already, Bria. Like, where you talked about her similarities to Left Eye, like, aesthetically. Mm-hmm. And then, like, that was on the Death episode. One of the, like, there's a lot of dope things about Rico. I think that obviously, her and Kenny have a great relationship, and they make amazing music together. I think she's one of the few rappers that has a perfect producer complement.
True.
Like, Jay and Kanye pre-crazy Kanye, like that kind of relationship.
And that says something, that somebody, especially him being a male producer, that, him committing himself to a female rapper, quote unquote, I think that really is telling. But I didn't even think about that. It's dope.
Yeah, I would definitely say out of probably most of the people we'll discuss today, like, she has one of the most defined sounds in terms, like, because of that, but because of her relationship with Kenny Beats. So, like, I think that speaks volumes. And, I mean, her last project came out last year. Nasty came out in 2018. And, I mean, it did really well. I think
people love that shit.
Yeah. And, I mean,
even she love that shit.
She's on the timeline all the time. South by was this past week. And,
what?
She's been all over it.
Flexing,
in terms of all the, like, female rappers have been, so... I also like how collaborative that this, like, group, that this class is, how collaborative they are. Because, like, once again, it just goes back to they're just rappers, So, like, we always see all the guy rappers hanging out. Well, what the fuck is the difference?
Agreed. There is no difference. But breaking down Rico a little more, like, the thing that I get out of her music is the energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't go to Rico for, like, slick bars, because, like, that's not necessarily what I'm, like, looking for when I'm listening to her music. It's more like this is raw energy, and this is like out of all like a lot of the new rappers who like jump around and like say things very loudly, male or female, she is one of the best at jumping around and saying things very loudly.
Flat out.
Because there's an art to jumping around and saying things very loudly. It's not just like, you can't just like hop on a beat and do it if you don't have some sort of cadence, some sort of rhythm. Her flow itself is unique, right, to that subgenre of hip hop. I don't know what the fuck you would call that. Like, is that the new era boom bap?
Like that.
And her voice too. I would say just the raspiness of her voice too.
I mean, it's more like punk in that regard, you know, like but not going so far down that lane as like a lot of the rappers are deep into that like kind of
that punk scene. Yeah, like the neo.
But I mean,
scene.
like her shows match that energy, so I think that's the great thing about that. I know like one of the tweets, her shows that went viral a while ago was like her spitting in like someone watching her show like in the front row's mouth, like. Her music be just as turned as the show.
She spat in somebody's mouth in the front row.
Yes, it went viral.
It was fucking lit.
And that's lit as fuck. And that's but that's not the type of shit you put in the same sentence as insert your favorite female rapper spit in a bitch mouth.
Or like, insert your favorite rapper. I feel like if like a male rapper spit in my mouth, I'd have to fight him at that point. Like.
Yeah, but weird shit be happening at shows.
Yeah, it does. It does.
To know that her, like, for her to be a fairly new act still, and to know that her fans be that down is wild.
Yeah,
you know, like that speaks volumes.
She has a tribe. Like, she has a tribe of like people out here for Rico.
And it's not all women, which I think is important. It's predominantly women, but I think Rico Nasty is one of the few female rappers who I think genuinely has male fans that publicly stand for her, which is important. All these niggas are pretending like they're not listening to these bitches' music, and you are. I'm sorry. Like, you are.
Everyone listens to City Girls. Like,
okay, like, let's talk about it. But I'm saying, like, publicly, which is still important. Like, niggas will actually go on Twitter and go on social media and be like, yo, Rico Nasty is lit. And, like, and then we'll, in the same breath, shit on another female rapper. Like.
But
go ahead.
In that way, I think it goes back to, like, the way she uses her femininity and her sexuality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a very small part of her brand. So, like, people like Rico Nasty, because they see her, like, casually out here cosplaying, and niggas go up for that shit. You know, even Stallion, you know, she was out here cosplaying the other day. And niggas lost their mind.
I lost my mind. Okay.
So I think there's like a lot to be said when they see something that like, oh shit, she has depth and she's not half naked all the time. Like that's still a mind blowing thing.
But like, yeah, number one, I don't know why it's a mind blowing thing.
And it shouldn't be, exactly.
It shouldn't be. But I think what's dope about Rico and what y'all have already said is that the femininity is such a small part of her. It's an important part, but it's like her brand is aggressive.
Exactly.
Like, it's about like being aggressive and like female, whatever, woman, whatever
it
is. Like, you all relate to that aggressiveness, right? Like, aggressiveness is a core emotion, and people are taking away the fact that, oh, it's a woman channeling this, and it's just like, oh, it's a rapper.
I'm here to mosh. It doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly. So I think that's dope. But you mentioned the Kari Fo project, and I want to get into her real quick, because Kari Fo is probably my favorite out of this new class. So I saw her with Mick Jenkins when she came to DC, and she like started off the show, right? Like, she like, I guess, opened for Mick, and she's like, yeah, I know a lot of y'all don't know me, and I don't really care, so I'm just gonna rap. And she won over the crowd. I think what's dope about that latest EP she released is it's everything you ever hoped she could be when you heard her first come up with like Childish Gambino, and you heard her first like come from a place where it's like, this is kind of backpacker-ish, but it's also not. She plays the line very well, right? Like, she has that radio song, No Small Talk, or whatever, which actually was off Gambino's tape. But this project was completely different than No Small Talk. This is the project that I had been waiting on from her. It's very emotional, it's very personal, and it's her rapping ability, just her bars in general, I think is like far outstrips a lot of other like male or female MCs, because she can do, I think, a lot of what our favorite MCs do, in that like she can do what Mick does, she can do what Saba does, she can do a lot of that sort of like introspective sort of blending the line rap, where it's like, this is not too backpacker-ish, but it's not too like hipster-ish, it's right in the middle, and she has like a good crevice that she can sit in and sort of relax in. And I'm curious to see if like her and No Name actually have more of a similar trajectory than we might think. Because No Name can do that same thing. she can sit in that lane with Saba and Mick and sort of like make you reflect and think while still giving you like really good music, right? It's not boring to listen to is what I'm basically translating that as. And so with this last...
It's not boring?
It's not. Like, not her... No Name's last joint. But like, the joint before that.
So
like,
I'm just... Yeah, because I was going to say, that's one of the main criticisms that No Name gets.
Room 25 was, but Telephone wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? Like...
But I would argue that No Name and Carrie have not very different...
They have different
cores,
vibes.
But they have different core audiences and it goes back to an energy thing. Like, I would still say that Carrie, her crowd is a little bit more lit.
No, 100%. Let me not misconstrue my point here. My point here is that, like, if you listen to this last EP, which you did on the way here, like, it is much more reflective, right? It is much more personal. She talked about sort of some of the abuse she's faced.
Miscarriages.
She's talked about miscarriages. Yeah. The depth and range to which she spoke and the way she rapped about it, like, was a different pocket than what a lot of people have seen from her thus far.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
And and that's why I think that her trajectory could end up a little closer.
Now.
With this project,
yes.
right? I'm talking
I see
about
that.
this project.
No, I see what you're saying.
I don't like the No Name comparison because I don't like where No Name's at right now. So maybe that's that.
And that was going to be my only thing is like, if anything, if Kari's in the same trajectory as No Name, that's just another bad thing for No Name. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah, honestly, and I'm a big fan of No Name.
Well, right. Is, I think No Name's going to come back with a really strong album.
She better.
She has to. She has to, like, there has to be evolution.
Yeah. Right? I think she took, like, we already discussed, actually, it was the three of us on our first episode. Look at you back for the 10th. Right?
Hey.
Like, we talked about how No Name took a step back, right? From what she released with Telephone. Mm-hmm. But I think she's going to take 3 steps forward with her next. Like, I have faith in her.
I know do too. It's definitely, like, possible. It's not like, oh, that might be outside of her range. Like, no, she can definitely do that shit. I just want to see it.
And she's somebody who was smart. And then she's somebody also who, like, listens to her audience, which we've kind of talked about the importance of that, you know, the importance and unimportance of like listening to your audience as far as like giving them, satisfying them enough, giving them what they want, but still like remaining yourself in your artistry. I think No Name is one of the few rappers that has the ability to really do that. Out of all the ones that we've talked to about, you know, as far as like our disappointment and hoping they can like bring it back or come back.
She will.
She will. I think she's like, one of the few that can. I believe that she can, but will she? I'm not sure.
I don't know. She said she's dropping a new song soon. I saw her tweet that this week.
Yeah, Room 30, song 37 or some shit.
Yeah, so
it's some number. Continuing with the numbers.
It'll be. Yeah, she definitely has the potential. It's just
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Who you got, Bria? Because she brought up Rico. I brought up Kari.
know my answer.
I don't know your answer.
Tiara.
Okay.
Tiara Wax gonna be my answer. Kari is actually probably second right now because I do very genuinely enjoy this EP. It's too small, but it's an EP, so I won't complain.
I'd say it's one of the most complete things we've gotten
it's
from
also
her.
And that's the thing. That's right.
It's very.
It's a good re-intro for her,
mm-hmm.
and so I feel like 2019 might be lit for her, and she did a lot of stuff at South by too this week.
But yeah, Tiara Whack is definitely one of my favorite. Is my favorite female MC.
And talk about your second favorite then, not Kari. Because you talked about Tiara Whack on like 4 episodes now.
Have I? Did I? I feel like I talked about her
another
on 2
hip hop podcast about Tiara Whack.
Good one. Good one, guys. I could have sworn I talked about her twice. But
4 episodes.
And she is someone to talk about because she has been dropping new music, and I dare interview to say that it's bad.
It's not.
We talked about that shit literally last week. we dropped that episode today, actually. About shit we want to see where she's leading us with.
Anyway, so I guess I'm not allowed to talk about Tiara Whack.
You can talk about Tiara Whack. I'm just saying.
So moving on.
Go ahead. Speak.
No.
Do a little snippet, or I'm gonna do a little snippet. One of us is gonna do a little snippet, so you might as well be the one.
It's cool. Tiara's the goat and she has bars and everyone knows it. So that's all I have to say.
But we already know that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Fine. There's nothing else to discuss.
There's no dispute.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't have anything to talk about.
Oh my god.
Bria's ending the podcast, y'all.
Yes.
Oh my god, Tiara's your dom.
No.
Might be.
No, I will not jump off a cliff for Tiara Whack.
One of our friends, Al's a diehard Dom Kennedy
Al.
fan. And,
I will take a bullet for Dom Kennedy.
Tiara Whack might be coming.
I will not take a bullet for Tiara Whack. I don't know, sis. I'm not taking a bullet for anybody I don't know.
All right. So, Tiara Whack, as we both know, has been releasing a song a week. And we're not sure where it's leading us, but every song has been dope. So, we talked about what we want to see. We want to see an album from her this year. Like, what impact do you think that she's had, like, on this, like, class of, like, rappers that are coming up with her? Both, like, male or female, it doesn't matter. Do you think she's pushed it in a certain direction?
For sure. I think she's pushing both to give niggas more bars. Like, just bars, please. Like, flow. All this other shit is, like, cute and aesthetics and all that is cute, which she has. It's so fucking solid, which is another thing. Is like, damn, it's not like this bitch is giving us bars and, like, nothing. She's very strong in both, actually. So, hopefully, and I think that she's pressuring both these niggas to, like, step up their visuals in general. Step up, like, the release or whatever, like, for, like, having more cohesive or purposeful, like, promo release and things like that. But I really just think she's inspiring people to have better visuals and to kind of, like, rap. Who
do you want to see her work with, like, as a rapper?
What other rappers would I like to see her work with? Other women, honestly, especially after that whole tweet where she was like, "Oh, I love everyone," and she, like, tweeted, like,
a whole bunch of people.
all the other female rappers, and I'm sure we're gonna, like, end up discussing.
But I'm saying you get to make her do a collab album with one person, even producer wise, right?
I want to see her with Pharrell, especially because she gets the Missy comparison. So
yeah,
and just like Pharrell's pocket, because like they can step a lot of places outside hip hop together that I think would be really dope.
Yeah, I think
so. That's why Pharrell is definitely front of mind.
I want to see her with not just Pharrell. I want to see the Neptunes.
Yeah.
I want to see both Chad and Pharrell working.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I would like to have just her featured more on more male rappers' music, because I feel like that would be a cute way for her to apply more pressure.
You want her to wash some dudes.
I do, yeah. Like, I kind of want her to do, like, a Nicki Monster, but, like, over and over and over and over
yeah,
and over
I just
again.
want her to do some features, period, though.
Yeah, or
actually.
that. I would like her to body people,
it would be
comparably.
To see exactly, because it's like, we've seen her in her arena and her and
also,
that's cool. Like that is.
But how can you flow in other niggas'
but
beats?
Exactly.
How can you compare and match other niggas' cadences and stuff like that? Which I would be so happy to see.
Pop out and have like a J. Cole year. Like,
yeah,
okay.
dead ass. Because I
didn't think I was really here to do this shit. Bet.
I would love that. I would like hella features, because I feel like it would be kind of like similar to one of my other favorite rappers, Kendrick Lamar. Like the way that he features people, I feel like he is the most experimental.
Yes.
When he features.
Ooh, I feel like that's the opposite of a J. Cole year.
What do you mean?
I think K-Dot on features, because he's so experimental, like, often has sometimes really
for sure,
bad
and that's fine with me. That's fine with me.
Cole has
sometimes you'll get a Kendrick feature and you'll be like,
what the fuck were you thinking?
But also, it's because Cole isn't being nowhere near as fucking experimental as Kendrick ever is.
No, hold on. This is not
ever.
It's not Kendrick versus Cole.
No, I'm just saying. Like, Cole is gonna body every feature, because I don't feel like he's being as experimental.
No, you're right. He doesn't go. He doesn't.
Right, so he can do a NBA YoungBoy and a motherfucking 21 Savage and a motherfucking conscious ass niggas rapper, because he's basically just saying the same shit. Hey guys.
But Cole's point on a feature is different than Kendrick's, I guess, is my thing. Like, Kendrick's point is to experiment. Cole goes on features to kill people. Right?
That's true.
Like, Cole gets on features to prove that I can rap on anyone's beat. I don't have to get any external
I don't think he's trying to wash anybody, because I don't think he does.
I don't think he... Ooh.
I
don't think he washes people on his songs?
He comes on the joint and he's like fucking like Samuel L. Jackson. Like, he's always somebody's OG.
Yeah,
like, that's
what I'm getting.
You know what I mean? And Kendrick comes
he's Jay-Zing these niggas now.
And Kendrick comes on like fucking Dave Chappelle. Like, he's just here to fuck around with these niggas. He's not here to sun them. And he's gonna casually sun them.
And that's the bigger sun.
It's different.
I think it's different. I don't think it's bigger. I don't think it's a comparison thing with... Because I think Kendrick's misses are really big.
No, they are. No, it's not consistent.
And then Cole's...
What was... I just heard his feature, that Future song that he features? I was like, damn.
No, that was...
Damn, K-Dot.
That wasn't it.
You know,
but
one person that could kill all of these rappers on features if you got Rhapsody in the studio and got her to write.
God damn it.
So, I'm going to be the first one to bring her up. I have a number of points I want to make about Rhapsody. Number one, if you haven't listened to Layla's Wisdom, I don't want you to talk about Rhapsody. That was one of my favorite albums, 2017.
So fucking good.
Now,
so quotable.
Since
also.
Layla's Wisdom,
Grammy nominated,
which a lot of you need Layla's Wisdom in your life.
Do
I feel
everybody.
Like you need that shit to teach you some lessons, right?
Oh my god.
She was on Jam Love the Squad, the compilation album, and she had 2 tracks where she absolutely killed everybody. And the thing about Rhapsody is I'm tired of people using her to virtue signal. I'm tired of people using her on Twitter to be like, yeah, well, like, you know, you should listen to Rhapsody if you want real bars.
While y'all on the Cardi B's, mind you, Rhapsody.
I was about to say, stop doing that.
Retweet.
Rhapsody would be a dope rapper regardless of the content that she was rapping about. She is good at the art of rapping, right? She so happens to want to rap about the things that are more associated with like backpacky type stuff or like underground type stuff. That's just who she is as a person. That does not give you license to like put her up against another rapper who happens to also be a woman and then do like a moral comparison.
For no other reason than the fact that they both have fucking vaginas. That's what doesn't make any sense.
If you want to do a comparison of how dope Rhapsody is and how good she is at rapping. Because, if you listen to Layla's wisdom, she gives you so many gems. She gives you so many bars. And she gives you so many times where you can sit back and think, she can rap with Cole. She can rap with Kendrick. I'm not saying she's necessarily better than either, but I'm saying she's in the league.
Oh,
for
right?
sure.
Like,
she's in the gym, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been already vetted by most of your favorite goats and shit. Like,
exactly. Ninth Wonder is like, this is my girl.
Right. Stands for her.
And I mean, just like her catalog is deep. Like,
Crazy.
we're talking about a lot of these artists that, you know, have dropped 1 or 2 projects over the past 2 years or so. But somebody like Rhapsody, like
or longer. This bitch had a Busta Rhymes
That's
feature.
what I'm saying. Like,
Excuse me?
She's been doing this for a decade plus. So, like, even though she, you know, like Layla's Wisdom, that project, it was a Grammy nominated project, and that gave her a huge spotlight. But like, she's been out here. So like, I don't want to like discount. We're talking about women. And I think even the way, like the timeline is talking about it is like, oh my God, I didn't even know this many women rapped. Where'd they come from? Like, they fucking hatched out of eggs last week. Like, a lot of women been out here working for a long time.
Y'all just didn't give a fuck.
And they're just getting their flowers, you know.
And as a result, I think it's important to
Rhapsody's definitely one of those
it's important to talk about that and give them their flowers, right? And it's important, the way we do that is so important. And that's why I'm so pissed about, like, the way people talk about Rhapsody is some sort of, like, moral compass for how like rap should be,
right?
Because most dude rappers can't hold a candle to her, right? So start holding them to that standard.
Okay.
Stop listening to Lil Pump and then like being like, yeah, women rappers should be like Rhapsody when you give that dude credit. Like, and I'm not even dissing Lil Pump here. I'm just saying the quality is different.
Right. And stop acting like Rhapsody is some sad ass artist who's never gonna make it or never gonna get anywhere that she should be because she decides not to take off her clothes or beat her face. Like,
exactly.
No one fucking cares. No one fucking cares. As far as the niggas that listen to her music, no one gives a fuck.
And she comes from like a lineage of rappers like this, like the Jean Greys.
Exactly.
Like there's a lineage of rappers who have been held up against like the field to be like the moral compass because they can rap and they happen to like, you know, rapping about backpack shit. But it's like, no, they're dope for the sake of them being dope, right? And I definitely don't want to label this next name a backpack rapper per se, but someone again I think that's in the same lane as Ivy Soul from Philadelphia. And she had a project, I believe last year, called Overgrown. And that was, if you're looking for something similar to Rhapsody, and you're looking for something similar to sort of, like, I want to hear someone that just has bars and can bar you up, but can also produce a cohesive song, I would go to Ivy Soul and be like, yo, this shit is fire. Do you know her, Lex, or do you just work with people that work with her?
I've met her like maybe once or twice. This was a couple years back though. But yeah, she dropped Overgrown last year, and one of my really good friends and producers who I have worked with a lot in the past and will be working with a lot this year, Cam, has been producing the majority of her music for the past couple years.
Lit! Shout out to Cam.
So like,
Aww,
Cam does all her stuff. So we work with some of the same people.
Tell her that she has a fan of me, you know, next time you see her. Like,
I would definitely say
come
this.
to the
Like,
podcast, shorty.
I've been out of town. I've been in Chicago. I've been in other places, and I've been like in cars with my friends, and they've put on her music, you know. And so like she definitely has the traction out here, and definitely like you said when it comes to like that lane of just kind of like a vibey, more laid back, like back to the, you know, like Rhapsody's there, but more for lyrical content than necessarily the vibe of her songs, you know. But like No Name, like more chill out, like.
But the thing is, she gives you bars too.
That's
with
still
that.
deep, yeah.
What are we gonna get into, like Meg Thee Stallion and?
I want to.
I think we have to.
Yeah, like go ahead. So let's. I think that she can rap. Like I listened to her album. Like I listened to her whole album, and like I listened to her album right after I listened to the Baby's album, and the Baby had a great album. Right?
Da Baby?
Yes. Like, Da Baby,
yeah,
right?
Low-key
so, Baby on Baby, you know.
Babysitter's my shit.
Yeah, all that shit, right? Shout outs to Baby Jesus, right? So, Da Baby, and I listened to Meg Thee Stallion back to back, and I'm like, yo, this shit is like the same sort of vibe.
They kind of complement each other. But it's also like he's from North Carolina and she's from Texas. So, like, it's also like we're moving towards the South. Exactly. Yeah. So, like, back to the energy shit. You know, there's a different type of energy that we typically associate with Southern artists.
They both have it, I guess is my point.
But it's that bounce, you know? It's not just the energy, but it's like the feel of the music all over.
But it's the bounce with bars, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, she got a flow like nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, like, you think even, like, back to, like, Crime Mob. Like, when you talk about cadence and energy, you know, back to, like, Trina. Like, I know Megan Thee Stallion's getting a lot of comparisons to Trina, like, just because of, like, how she presents herself and how she comes off, like, yo, fuck these niggas. Anyway, back to these bars, you know, and still be rapping about the niggas in the bars. And, you know, I mean, it's been a minute since I've seen, I feel like the last artist that kind of hit the timeline like this, especially in terms of women, was Cardi. That hit the timeline. Like, Megan Thee Stallion's been popping off on Twitter the last couple weeks. And, you know, that freestyle she did went viral. And I think that, you know, like, it's cool to see women rappers go viral. And I feel like it's happening more and more.
Because, like, I feel like Megan Thee Stallion and then City Girls both hit the shit, like, kind of at not the same exact time, but within, like, a couple months of each other.
Yeah.
Right? And that wave has been coming up and sort of, like, engulfing shit. City Girls released an album, too. I didn't realize this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I listened to the whole album, and I'm like, oh, this is a whole shit, like, a whole album full of turn-up songs.
Well, because their shit got fucked because JT's in jail. So, like, they dropped
and it's arguably
album.
the better rapper.
Yeah, so, like, they dropped the album, and then she was doing, like, some scamming shit. I can't remember the exact story. It was like a
credit card fraud.
Yeah, it was like a crazy
fraud.
real scamming shit. So she's doing like a year and a half or something, and she just like kind of took the plea to like lessen the time. So it kind of sucked because like they had all this crazy momentum, timeline was going up for them, you know.
That song Cardi's a hit,
they dropped
right?
exactly they dropped the project, they dropped the visual. And then Shorty went to jail.
So you can't do shit.
Couldn't even be in the video with Drake and shit because her ass was locked up.
It's just like, it's really like halted their momentum. Yeah. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens when JT gets out.
I cannot wait for it to come out, especially because I think the momentum has gone down. And also I think Young Miami, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
I feel like she's taken, I think, the City Girls brand because she's been the one representing it to not necessarily a different place, but a place that's like, oh, okay. There was a trajectory that I saw for them.
Can you talk about that shit? Because I don't know. Like, where she took the brand versus where it should have gone.
She just keeps saying a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah.
She just keeps saying a lot of stupid shit. Even like that... What was it for me is when she dropped this like Instagram video or whatever. She's like in her kitchen. She was like, I wash my face with the same rag that I wipe my ass with, and like I don't care what you say. Like my face is still clean. She like opened up her refrigerator. It's like I don't drink water. Water's nasty as shit.
Oh, that was her?
That was Young Miami.
I didn't see
She's like,
that.
I drink juice. Slaps a bottle. This is my juice. Like I don't fucking drink that water shit. Like basically like fuck health. Fuck self-care. Fuck.
Yikes.
And it was just like, oh my god. Why did she do this?
I didn't know that even happened. But
what? Oh, and it's just stuff like that she'll just like. And then all the videos that started going viral, like with like in the past 2 weeks of like her being just like really unenthused at like some of her shows and people being like really disappointed in her performance and stuff like that. Like, I feel like she's helping take it down pretty quickly.
So she needs a homie back.
I mean,
that's what it feels like.
But like when stuff like that happens, like okay, bro, like go sit on the sideline or get on somebody's features, but don't just be out here on social media when you're not doing work.
Right, and that's just like I was so concerned about her fucking all this up for City Girls before JT got out. That's my biggest concern right now. That's my biggest concern right now.
I really hope she like goes and sits down somewhere.
And I mean, even certain things that she's doing, like even being featured in Kodak Black's video, and who's to say that she wouldn't be featured in Kodak Black's video if JT were out here?
Apparently they're just homies.
Yeah, but it's just even that people are just like, oh, you know, and they've already gotten in trouble for like their homophobic stuff and things like that. So then like her being in a Kodak Black video sparked a lot of controversy. Yeah, people are like, oh, so you're just problematic as fuck and you don't give a fuck. But then she says certain things on Instagram constantly to be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, bitch. And that's like, I see that similarly to like Azealia Banks. That's how you lose fans. When
a nigga shows you who they are, believe them.
Okay.
You know,
so
like,
I'm really so literally every time Young Miami posts, I'm just like, where is JT?
Nervous.
I'm like, where is JT? If somebody doesn't break this bitch out, Young Miami's gonna blow the bag for both of them. And if I'm JT, I'm beating this bitch's ass and I'm going back to jail for blowing the bag.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, 300 needs to take her phone away or something. Because I mean, she has a good team behind her. 300's huge, like. So
and they know how to farm their artists.
So hopefully they figure that out because it would be really unfortunate, you know, if like because shit is going up for women in hip hop. If you know JT comes out and like you said, Young Miami's fucked up the bag for them.
Because there's such a lane for City Girls, and I think that was something else that I was so happy about. Like I was so happy to see these bitches just making music for bitches to shake their ass
And there's
to.
no,
like,
they're the only like female duo.
Yeah, that.
Like, so that's really lit, right? Like,
It was really cool.
It's
Like, their moment
different.
was really cool. And, like, and I feel like it captured a lot of people, like, outside of their demographic because of, like, the way they packaged it, the way they presented themselves. I think their whole yin-yang thing,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
it worked really well.
Oh, they're the Yin Yang twins of 2019. I didn't.
Hey.
Didn't
Funny.
realize.
Well, not now, because
Yeah,
the one bitch
she
is in
jail.
fucking jail.
But like, in theory, when she gets out, they could be the Yin Yang
back.
twins.
So, I mean, I'm happy we talked about Megan. Oh, I'm gonna say my thoughts for Megan. I have a lot of thoughts on Megan. I'm rooting for her regardless.
What thoughts are you saving that you should just give out instead? Because I think she has the potential. Like you were saying, like a Cardi comparison. I think even beyond that, I just think she just has like the potential to be not only like the Southern Cardi, I guess, is one way to put it, but just another dope rapper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like she has all the right interests as well. Like she can like the anime stuff. Like she's actually into it. Like she's cosplaying as Todoroki from My Hero Academia, and like that's like pretty well known, but not like super well known, right? So like she actually is with the shits at all times, and she seems like a genuine character to like become attached to. And when you have a genuine character in hip hop that can actually rap, you can go pretty far. And so I'm really hoping like she continues on with just being herself and doesn't let all this shit like get to her. Because like it's kind of, it's almost disheartening to see like for every good Meg Thee Stallion tweet I see two ones that are like not even necessarily degrading, but more so like they like sneak this in, right? Oh, she in college and she a rapper, and like, okay,
why is that a problem?
Like, why is that a problem? Like, there's so many like, oh, her body is real. I'm like, is that an issue? Like, she like there was like this one video of like her like saying like, yeah, like my body is like there are no fake parts on it, and like people are like, yeah, do you believe her? I'm like, what? Like,
that's my issue with Megan Thee Stallion. I think is like, I think because of all the coverage and everything that's being talked about her outside of her music, I think is just as prevalent, if not more, than her music.
Oh, for
and
sure.
that is, it always takes me a while to consume artists like that because I want to make sure I'm consuming them in the way that I want to, and I'm consuming them for their art and not in the way that they're being delivered. And I think what's pissing me off the most about Megan Thee Stallion is like she is not delivering herself this way, but that is how people are choosing to deliver her, and that's just really aggravating. But so I just see these like two sides basically forming, like people saying, oh, like she's just attractive and I'm just here to see her ass shake. I don't really care about her bars. And other people are like, she actually has bars and you guys are only caring about her ass shaking. And
but it can be both, right?
It can be both.
Yeah.
And I'm still just like, I'm just still here for the bars. Like I'm still not convinced by that alone yet.
Got it.
So that's just how I feel. I think she's dope and I think she has all the potential in the world, but that doesn't do shit for me right now.
No, like you said, it's a lot of hype, and hype can turn into smoke
right.
and mirrors real quick.
And that's what's blowing me.
Like,
and it's because she has so much potential. It's like, I want to fuck with you, but I don't know what's real or not. Like, I need the fog to like settle so I can like see you.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those. Okay, this is cool. Let's
see
wait
where
for
this
some
goes.
more music to come out.
That,
you know,
that.
I always and because like you said, people are talking about her for a lot of reasons that are not music, and that's all cool. But
and it's not her fault. That's why I'm like, I don't want to
shit
shit on her because this isn't her fault. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She's generating buzz,
people being people.
Which is
That's
good.
People being people,
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, oh, this shit is cool, and I look at it for what it is. But just music, please.
I guess like I have one question then. So how do these artists that we've discussed today? Some of them have recently released projects, and some of them have been dropped in around a year. You know, I wouldn't say a full body of work. Some of them possibly. So how do they capitalize on the moment? You know, like how does Megan Thee Stallion, who is going viral, you know, for her freestyle, going viral for the way she looks, how does she capitalize on that shit?
I wish I saw more shit about her album. Because she has an album, right? Like, she has a whole ass...
But how do you capitalize if you dropped the music? She dropped Tina Snow, and then she went, you know, because Tina Snow dropped, and that was cool, but this buzz is very separate from that.
So, it's
throwing
me off, bro.
How do you capitalize?
It's throwing me off.
And me as an artist, you know, like, this is, why we were discussing this is a genuine question that came to mind, because, like, what the fuck do you do then? Because it seems like she's done what she's supposed to do.
True. But I also feel like she's also just, like... Which isn't a bad thing, but I also feel like she's taking all this buzz and being like, oh, okay, like, Niggas care. So, like, yeah, now when the phones are out, I feel like she's more privy to shaking her ass than, like, giving us a bar. And again, I'm blaming that on the audience, on the people, and not really her. But it's also, like, you could give us the bars and shake your ass, and I really just kind of see videos of you shaking your ass. And that, which is cool, which is fine. Like,
No,
what,
but I mean, like,
Cardi B has been
yeah.
twerking it down all the time, but Cardi also gets on Instagram Live with not a beat face, her weave all fucked up, and will just rap a song that her mans just wrote for her. Like, I would like more of that from Megan Thee Stallion. Like, not just her looking good, being at interviews, dropping a viral freestyle, but her being at home and fucking flowing. Like, show these niggas, I'm bad as fuck, this is facts. My tits and ass are real, this is facts. But I also am a rapper. Like, I also, really good raps. And I don't think she's really trying that hard to remind niggas.
So just
that.
like the more, the exposure on her part.
I just, like, you're getting all this exposure and it's fine, but, like, if I can see where the tide is going with you, you should be able to see where the tide is going with you.
Like,
Shift
she
it
kind of
back.
has to control a bit of the media being out. So
basically,
you're saying she needs to counteract that shit with
at least try. And I don't know if she's trying.
I feel that. And yeah, I don't see her posting too much stuff of her own.
Right. And
I agree with that. I think like
I think a lot of the problem, not just women artists face, but a lot of artists face today, is that they actually don't control the media, right? They are very bad at controlling their message.
Yeah,
so
it's hard.
It's incredibly hard, right? I'm not necessarily blaming them for them because controlling the message is something labels pay a lot of money to do.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess my point is that, like, you know, you have like someone like Rhapsody or Kari or whoever, right? Male or female, like you have Saba or Mick or any number of rappers who, like, we want to see them for their art, right? We want to see you as a musician for your music.
Mm-hmm.
And how you deliver that to us is sometimes very difficult, especially for, I would say, like, women rappers.
Especially
when the male gaze is so focused on your ass and tits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's my only pushback to, like you said, it's the audience's fault.
Mm-hmm.
But also I'm like, to Lex's question, how do you deliver your art when people don't want to see your art? Right? People are, I think, not actively ignoring, but passively ignoring the fact that she is an artist.
Yeah.
But the way to do that, like, how do you get people art if they don't want to see your art? You don't do it by just shaking your ass and not giving any art.
That's true, right? 100%. But I think it's a problem that doesn't just plague her. I think it's a problem that plagues a lot of
for sure.
women rappers.
Most.
Sure.
I mean, like, it's like, unless you walk around in a burqa, it's like it becomes an issue. Like, unless you
and
literally
even then,
like
it becomes about the burqa.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly.
Because that's what happens to Rhapsody.
Like Rhapsody, I was just about to say.
I think the biggest reason why these bitches are really hating on Cardi is because she's one of the only ones that have been able to do that.
But I would argue the real criticism against Cardi is not that, okay, that's cool that you did that, but people are like, but you don't write, so you're a pop star, but you're in the rap space. So, you know, so like that's my issue, because like, at least as far as I know, with everyone we've mentioned today, they write all their own shit.
As far as we know.
So as far as we know, exactly, you know. And, you know, we'll leave that there. So I think, like, it's cool. Like, Cardi has had an amazing run, and she still seems to be on that high.
Cardi on top,
she doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. But I think there is, like, that real kind of, there's a certain, you know, it goes back to, like, Kendrick versus Drake. Drake, you know, he doesn't even, you can't even put him in the conversation when it comes to best rapper, because we know for a fact that there has been huge portions of his music that he has had help with.
Right, and that brings up an interesting point.
I feel like when it comes to Cardi, it goes back to that same sort of thing. Like, yeah, this is cool. She's great. She's a great artist. She's fun to listen to, and you know, people love seeing her get ratchet and, you know, talk her shit on Instagram and everything else. But when it comes to the art,
right, and I think it would be argued that the reason why she's so good at all these other things, like aesthetically and all these other things, is because she's not necessarily focusing on the art, because she's not the one fucking making it. So, like, no.
So it looks like some of our audio got cut off in the last part of this episode. Unfortunately, we didn't realize this till like a week in, but sometimes it happens. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please let us know in the comments below how we did and who your favorite female MCs, or male MCs for that matter, just MCs in general are, and who we should cover in the future. I think this was a really interesting discussion. I know that Bria, Lex, and I all had a lot of fun doing it, and we're definitely going to come back and talk about more about the role of women in hip-hop and how they've shaped hip-hop and the different types of sort of impacts they've had. So be on the lookout for that episode as well. Thank you for listening to another hip-hop podcast. This has been episode 10, and peace and love.
Wait, when does it come back in?
Pause.